Hi guys, I'm back for another video on divorce basics. As a divorce attorney in Austin, Texas, I get a ton of questions every day about the very basic terms of divorce. So I thought it'd be helpful to debunk them and give you sort of like a really brief update on what these terms mean. My last video was on residency requirements, and now I'm going to talk about grounds for divorce. Each state's different, so check your local and state codes and talk to local attorneys who are going to know exactly the different rules in your particular state. I'm licensed here in Texas and my office is in Austin, Texas, so I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the grounds for divorce as it pertains to Texas law. So basically, we all know and have heard about fault grounds for divorce and no fault grounds, but that's really where a lot of people's knowledge ends. They don't really know what any of that means. Here in Texas, you can file for divorce and it doesn't have to be anybody's fault. You don't have to point the finger, and that's called a no-fault divorce. It simply means that two people aren't getting along anymore and they want to break up, and we're not going to spend a whole bunch of time talking about whose fault it is. By the way, you can file a no-fault divorce and still argue about whose fault it is. It shows up in different ways in the divorce case. But anyways, I wanted to share with you also that there are some fault-based grounds in Texas, but they're infrequently used. So here's the deal. Most people are breaking up for a very specific reason. Somebody cheated on somebody else, somebody committed fraud or stole money, or maybe just the fights are so bad and there's a whole long list of ugly facts and terrible stories about why this couple is breaking up. But just because you're not getting along and it's highly dramatic and terrible and emotionally damaging doesn't mean that you qualify for a fault-based ground, especially in Texas. Now, adultery is something that is a fault-based ground, and you could plead and claim that in your divorce case, but it's not necessarily going to get you an automatic slam dunk win. Why is that? Because adultery, unfortunately, nowadays is a reason why a lot of people are divorcing, so it's not a really unique circumstance. It doesn't mean you won't address it in your case. It just doesn't mean you have a slam dunk win just because somebody had an affair. Most cases are filed under the no fault grounds, which means people are breaking up and they need to figure out the rules about their stuff and the rules about their kids. If you have cruel treatment, and that is a legal term of art here in Texas, then that's another fault-based ground for divorce as well. Cruel treatment is not what it sounds like. Everybody's been treated cruelly in divorce. People call each other names. They do terrible things to each other when they're breaking up. Cruel treatment is a technical term of art. There's a couple of things that specifically need to happen, and it needs to rise to a very serious level in order to be taken seriously by a court. So I just wanted to let you guys know it's a little bit more complicated than it sounds. And just because something sounds like adultery or fault or cruel treatment doesn't necessarily mean it translates to that definition when you're filing for divorce. So talk to your attorney and know that 9 times out of 10, even though you've been terribly hurt and terrible things have occurred, you're probably still going to file on that no fault based grounds for divorce.